Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Matías Rebolledo. Seguimos aquí en Quinótico, en las tripas, en la cuarta planta del Teatro Calderón, en lo que es ya la 69 edición de la Semana Internacional del Cine de Valladolid. Hoy tenemos aquí a Andrei Ujică, director de Things We Said Today, un documental que pasa en Tiempo de Historia y que realmente reconstruye uno de los episodios más divertidos de la historia de la música, que es la primera visita de los Beatles en el 65 a Manhattan. Entonces, Andrei, welcome to our set here in Quinótico.
Thank you. Yeah.
You said that it's your first time in Valladolid. Your
Yeah.
films were here, but not you.
Yeah. It's the first time that the invitation came to the right moment that I could come here. Yeah, I'm very glad. It's a beautiful city.
Thank you for giving us your time. Your movie is a very grateful experience because I think I saw it with people and it was like everyone was like astonished by your film. It was very fun. It was very moving. So I wanted to ask you about that. What did you think about seeing it with other people in the cinema?
You saw yesterday
Yeah.
the film in the screening for yesterday. It's always an interesting experience to be with the public. I was not in the room
Okay.
during the screening yesterday, but I saw him twice with people, and it's it's moving also for me when I saw that the emotion is working. Yeah.
Mhm. So, circling back to the movie, how was the idea born? How did you came up with the idea? Because we tend to associate your filmography with, the post-communist experience, the Cold War, Romania. So I wanted to ask you about that. How did you come up with the idea?
Yeah, I told this already. After I finished my historical trilogy about the end of the Soviet bloc, I wanted to make a kind of introspection, more personal one about the I don't know, the shaping of our emotional profile in the youth, which marked us for the rest of the life, and which has also a very a great sociological importance, because the social paradigm of the world changed in this moment, in the middle of the 60s, on the peak of the pop music revolution. Yeah, and I was always fascinated by this. I'm a kid of this period, and of this revolution, and I feel the duty to analyze this from my point of view, but in the same time to remain very personal.
Was it hard to trace the trip, to get those images? I think you were in talks with NBC and BBC. So how was that? How was the documentary process?
Yeah. It was a long and winding road, to speak in Beatles terms. The research, I don't know, the research work take almost 4 years, because there are many sources, 30, 35 or so. And then when we found the main archives for our purpose, for the black and white part, there are the 3 big American channels, ABC, CBS, and NBC, and then to search in all these huge archives the moments that we needed. It was a great and hard work, and on the end it was also an expensive one, because these pictures are not cheap, and it was also a problem for the financing the film, or closing the financing of the film, to get all this budget we needed to make the production.
I know it's a difficult question to answer, but I wanted to ask you, why do we keep coming back to the Beatles?
Why?
Why do we keep coming back to the Beatles, in a way, to always be there for the historical importance of the band? Why do you think that they are still interesting to younger audiences, for example?
Not only in my opinion, in my observation, because their music is listened also by a young or very young audience, children. It's not a surprise. It was always and is always in the history of music, like in the history of poetry. Some works they have the power to transcend the time and to become something what we could call the classical repertoire or so. I don't think that their music will disappear, or it's not only a ephemeral phenomenon like for a lot of others popular singers. They are stars for 1 season, 2 season, 3 season, and then they disappeared. Here we are to deal with a music with a great aesthetic quality, and will remain in the popular music field. The Beatles are, I say this a lot of times, are what Franz Schubert was for the 19th centuries, you know. As the leader from Franz Schubert was known from the certain category of public in the 90s everywhere. So these places are the Beatles now, and few others, yeah. Frank Sinatra, for example, for some, but for the Beatles is something very impressive. They have a huge block of perennial work. They wrote, I don't know, more than 220 or 223 songs, and more than half of them are evergreens, are perennial. This is really huge. I think it's only Franz Schubert he can be comparable in this statistic.
Yeah, I wanted to deep dive into that because, we had the Beatles. It was a different time in terms of mass media. For example, it was in most of the countries there was like 1 or 2 TV channels, for example.
Yeah.
Do you think that something as big as they were could be replicated today, or is it impossible because of the mass media system?
No, it's always the same question. Big artists or big moments in art, they appear from time to time. They depends also from I don't know, a zeitgeist, the spirit of the time, but also from the emergence of a moment of talent of high quality and intensity. It will come one day. It's true. They were not the first genius composer, or not the last one. From time to time, they are coming. It's the same things is happening in the poetry. From time to time, you have a very great poet, and in between, good ones or acceptable ones or mediocre ones. In each art is the same. In the painting is the same thing. So one day, sooner or later, we will meet another musician or a group of them of this level.
I wanted to ask you about the creative process, because I know it can be unfair because you are a filmmaker, you are not looking for having fun making movies, but I kind of perceive that it was a fun movie to make. So I wanted to ask you about that. Did you have fun, like researching and then after editing the film?
Yeah. from a certain moment, it was a joy. You can feel the joy in the film. The pleasure to, because the film is also immersive. The pleasure to jump in this period in the daily life, and to walk with these characters through New York and through the events there, and to see also the excitement of the arriving of the Beatles at the Warwick Hotel. And so it was when we reached to have the material, the corpus of images we needed, and we started to edit. It was a joy. Yeah.
Well, this is the last one, since I know you're very busy these days. I wanted to ask you, what does a festival like Seminci, like Valladolid, help your movie for? So, what good does it make to have the movie here in Valladolid, for example?
Yeah, the festival landscape today is enormous important. First of all, for so-called art house films. Yeah, because you can have the first step to have access to a public which is interesting in art house movies, and so, and it's also a joy to present the film to them, and then it's a kind of test to see how the public reacts. And when you are on the festival circuit, you can compare this. How the film works for the American audience, or for the European, or for the East European, or for the West European, and it's a very good testing field. I had here from Valladolid very good impression about the Spanish audience. It was a very warm and good reaction. Yeah.
Well, let's hope that the fan finds distribution here. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank
for
you.
that extraordinary movie. Y a los demás, seguimos informando, como siempre, en quinótico.es de todo lo que va a ocurrir y que nos llevará hasta el palmarés del sábado en esta Seminci de Valladolid. Ya sabéis, quinótico.es, la primera con K, la segunda con C.